Now I'd like to take and go through the Board of Supervisors liaison appointments as a block. Is there anybody who has difficulty with doing that? And in fact, I'd like to do the rest of the meeting as a block.
I'm sorry, but I'm not hearing you.
I'm going to take the liaison appointments and just run right down them and assign people for each one of the liaison positions.
I have preferences on ones that I want.
Well, everybody has preferences, so I just...
We're going to just do it one by one as a block of meeting.
Okay, one by one as a block. You're saying you're just going to read them off and then it's either yay or nay?
Yes.
I disagree with that.
Well, I'm going to move in that direction just so we can move the meeting along, and if there will be obviously comment at the end of it.
I make a motion that we do not do that.
Is there a second to Mr. Breeden's motion? Hearing none, the motion dies for lack of a second. For the Police Department, Bud Baldwin. The Upper Makefield Township Planning Commission, Mary Ryan. Park and Rec Board, Tom Sino. Historic Advisory Commission, Larry Breeden. Historic Architectural Review Board, Larry Breeden. The Fire Company, Dan Radigan. Council Rock School District, Larry Breeden. Open Space and Environmental Advisory Council, Mary Ryan. Non-uniformed employees, Dan Radigan. National Veteran Cemetery, Tom Sino.
No.
Public Works, Bud Baldwin. Advisory, Agricultural Security Advisory, Bud Baldwin. Capital Improvements Oversight, Mary Ryan. And Emergency Management, Bud Baldwin. Is there a comment by the board?
There is a comment. I am the only veteran on the board right now, and I feel very strongly that I would like to be as a representative to the National Veteran Cemetery. I think that's only right that I be named to that board. There is no other veteran on this board that could represent our fallen brothers.
Comment?
I think Mr. Breeden makes a good point.
All right, so Mr. Sino would step aside so that Mr. Breeden would then become the National Veteran Cemetery.
Thank you.
Do I hear a motion that the liaison appointments with that one change be as read?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Let it be shown that it's unanimous. Now the board's going to be taking and making depository appointments, etc. You picked up the agenda that was outside, and I also want to treat these as blocks. However, since the board will be taking votes on them, I would ask, is there any public comment at this time? Hearing none, we can move along. For depository appointment, for Citizens Bank, the concentration account, the payroll account, the disbursement account, building construction fund, water and sewer fund, liquid fuels fund, park and rec fund, 3-year cap, open space fund, and the capital reserve fund. All those to Citizens Bank. To TD Bank, tree fund, grading escrow fund, fire fund, cable TV fund, park and rec fund, operation and maintenance agreement, Revolutionary Run emergency services, and riparian buffer restoration. And finally, as set by the, I guess it's IRS, the rate per mile is 55.5 cents. Do I hear a motion to approve the depository accounts and the mileage rate?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any board comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
I will abstain from this vote.
Okay. Mr. Breeden, your vote?
No.
No
I'm
vote?
sorry,
or-
that
No
was a
no
no?
vote on that.
You abstain?
Abstain.
Okay, so the vote would be 3, 1, and 1. 3 yay, 1 nay, and 1 abstention. Or
She's abstaining,
okay,
too.
3-0 and 2, okay. I'm glad you're keeping score. Okay, for consultants, as a block, Township Engineer will be Larry Young of Gilmore and Associates. The Township Solicitor, Mary Eberly of Grimbean and Thatcher. The Township Water and Sewer Engineer, Tom Zarco of CKS. The Zoning Hearing Board Solicitor, William Bola of McNamara, Bola, Williams, and Panzer. And the Labor Counsel to the Township, Brian Cassidy Esquire of Eckert Siemens. Do I hear a motion to approve those consultants and at the rates which they have presented to the Township?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Is there any board comment?
So I'll make one comment. I'm going to vote no to this bundled appointment, and I'm going to vote no specifically to the appointment of Township Solicitor of being Mary Everly. And to clarify, my no vote regarding Mary has nothing to do with Mary's abilities, but purely to do with an opinion, which I think the Township is better served by leaving John Rice as the Township Solicitor until we work our way through litigation, which he was part of the origination of. So I'm going to vote no to this motion, this bundled motion, for that reason.
All right. Any other comment? All right,
I have a no vote for the same reason Tom gave.
okay. So I would make a motion to approve the consultants and the rates. And do I have a second to that?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Oh, wait.
Aye.
I'm sorry, didn't I make the motion originally?
The original motion was you, second by Mr. Radigan.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Can't tell the players without a scorecard. Okay, so the vote would be 3 aye, 1 nay.
Two no's.
You're voting no?
Yeah. No also, correct.
No or an abstention?
No.
Okay, so the vote would be 3, 2, 2 nays. Newspaper meetings and dates for the Advance and the Courier-Times, Philadelphia Inquirer. These are for the legal notices. And for the official meeting dates in 2012, we were moved to Tuesdays, not Wednesday, Tuesdays at 7:30. So do I hear a motion in that effect?
Can you repeat that again?
Yes. The Advance, the Courier-Times, and the Philadelphia Inquirer are for legal notices, and the meeting dates will be Tuesdays at 7:30, not Wednesday at 7:30. Do I hear a motion to that effect?
So we're still first and third week?
First and third Tuesday of the month, correct. A motion to that effect.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it,
Why are we switching to Tuesday?
because Mrs. Everly has a conflict on this second Wednesday. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
I'm going to abstain. I need to check my schedule.
All right. Mr. Breeden, your vote?
I'll vote aye on that.
Okay, so there'll be 4, 0, and 1 abstention. Is there any public comment?
Yes, good afternoon. Larry, there's no mic here, so I'll just speak loudly.
Come right over here and sit down, please. Or you could take that one.
You're welcome.
Thank you, thank you. As I said, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and audience. Larry, congratulations.
Thank
Glad
you.
to see you up there. Now, one of the things that I hope that we had spoken about before was a virtual checkbook. I hope that somehow you can get that in there, because I think it'd be very interesting, and I think it would make it a lot easier when it came time for doing the budget and anything else, that everybody would already know where the monies were spent and what was going on, and there wouldn't be all the questions. So I think that'd be an excellent idea. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Mike Murray, Washington Crossing. Tom, the no on the chairman vote, so who would you rather see?
My personal opinion, Mary.
Why'd you abstain from the bank vote?
Because I work for a bank.
Which one?
I work for TD Bank.
That's right. Mary Everly, do you still then have the ability to seek out John Rice to alleviate some of Tom's concerns?
Yes, and Mr. Sino was gracious enough to speak with me about this issue before the meeting. And I assured him that John would probably still be carrying the laboring oar in the ongoing litigation so that we were not switching horses in midstream.
All right, so you feel comfortable that we can keep that
Yes.
going? Okay. Tom, you didn't know about the date change for the meetings?
I did see a listing of the meeting schedule, but I did not notice that it was moved from Wednesday to Tuesday.
That could be a problem for you?
I'll make it work. So.
Thanks.
Anybody else, public comment? Mr. Deutsch?
First, Happy New Year to everyone. Just a question as to, most of the town people are used to having the meeting on Wednesday. To make the change for the reasons that I heard, because council isn't available, and no disrespect to council, but there should be some other consideration. The change could have an effect upon when people show up, when they don't show up, notice and other things. Was the town people considered in making that change?
The answer is no, and the reason is what I gave as the reason that the board chose this, but starting the year and letting everybody know before anything takes place, I think is appropriate.
Now, I understand that the town's making the change because council is not, the new council is not available. The council they're choosing to hire to bring in as new council is not.
She's been counsel to the planning commission when I was on the planning commission for years and years and years. It's just that the board has chosen to have her become counsel of the board. That's.
However, the point that I'm trying to make is that you chose council that needs to change something that changes something for the entire township. And is that, in considering people who have made their schedule and consider what's been on for quite some history of having it on Wednesday, to change it for that reasoning, I find to be maybe inconsiderate of the township constituents, with no disrespect to council or other considerations.
And none taken. But if I can just take a second to point out, our firm represents a number of municipalities. Excuse my voice, I'm getting over a flu. Municipalities changing meeting nights happens all the time. I think that there are municipalities that I have been involved with that have changed their meeting nights 3 and 4 times over the course of a 15, 20-year period. Especially in Upper Makefield, where your meetings are televised and repeatedly televised, people will have the opportunity to see what goes on, and it won't hurt the public's ability to keep up with things. But I think you'll be surprised at how quickly people adjust to a new meeting night.
With all due respect, I do work with a lot of legal firms, and there are other members of your firm who have equivalent qualifications, as well as other law firms that have significant qualifications to this township, and I just think that the constituents are the people who should be considered primary as to what has been established, and the change in the date may have an impact upon it. And that was my comment, and I think the board should take due consideration of what happens at the future meetings merely because of the selection of yourself. And no disrespect to you at all, but just to the function of selection of a council availability.